welcome to another fan Zoom for Rajasthan Royals. And we're going to quickly look at our last performance and give a preview for tomorrow's performance against Delhi Capitals. So in the house we have Shiv. Hi Shiv.
Hey Sandy, thanks for having me.
And Shiv is from Melbourne. We've got Vinay from London. And we got Upyan from India. So we've got connected 3 countries here today. So firstly, Shiv, your views on the victory in the last game?
Didn't really see it coming, to be honest, although I was very happy when we actually ended up winning it. But I think, it just sort of went back to showing how much within just, 7 games of the IPL, how much the team has started relying on Tewatia to pull it off. So I remember thinking how it's not the first time Rahul has become Mr. Dependable for the side, especially for a side which has had another Rahul who's also been a Mr. Dependable years ago. But on a serious note, though, I think it was a good game. It wasn't. I wish we hadn't really experimented a lot with our sides over the last couple of games, and more than just experimenting with our sides balance. I think even getting back somebody like Uthappa and not really playing where he should be, not really playing him where he probably should be playing him, wasn't something particularly pleasant to note. But it was good to see that we finally ended up winning it. So positives and negatives anyway. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. And Vinay, what was your views on the victory? Where do you think
I think it shows our top order is still a bit vulnerable in terms of performing. It's one of the things that we've been talking about in the last 3 or 4 matches is our top batsmen need to perform. The pressure that's coming on the middle order, thank God we've got someone like Tewatia who's coming. He's a game changer. He's really shown that he digs deep and can get the side to a victory, and you wouldn't expect him to be in the top of the Rajasthan's match winner list. You think of the big names like Butler will get us through, or Smith will get us through, or Samson will get us through. So we were lucky with that victory. I have to say we were lucky, and and hopefully that has now going to be kind of turning us into turning the momentum for the side, feel a bit more confident, and really come out and start winning a few games now, because we really need to start winning, getting the points, because as we get down to the business end of this tournament, these couple of points are going to make a difference when we trying to hit the top spots.
That's true. And Upman, your views on the team changes before the match. What were your views before the match? And you saw the team sheet. What did you actually think?
Well, I was expecting another chance given to Varun Aaron. It didn't happen, of course. However, the bowling has improved drastically. We are now restricting teams within 160. It's pretty good, of course. Has to be due to the slow nature of the pitches as well. Jofra, as good as he can ever be. But I'm actually worried. For tomorrow's match, you might see Riyan Parag coming out with Jos Buttler. That's the kind of position we are in right now, with so many changes, especially in the top order. It's better to have at least a settled opening combination with Smith and Buttler firing. I think there's also one problem which I've seen, that Buttler is being expected to play the longer role to stay on, while Smith is being expected to just bash from the first ball. It's contrasting to their own natures. So I don't know why the management is doing that. But regarding the results, it's always good to have 3 out of 7 instead of 2 wins out of 7. So yeah, pretty impressed.
And Shiv, I think the pressure on the last game was definitely on us to win that game, because I've been saying it was a 4-point swing game. Like tomorrow, I say with Delhi losing the last game and us winning tomorrow, do you think what is the tactics we should be doing tomorrow? Should we put all our eggs and go fire off, or take it easy?
We should definitely not take it easy against a side like Delhi. I think, given that I do believe, and I still will believe for a while, that Delhi is the most balanced side this season when you look at their bowling attack and their batting lineup. So it's definitely not a side we should take lightly, given how we've had to wait for a while to actually go back to winning. But at the same time, I think we might one good thing about last game was that we could see that we could still put on a good fight with our bowling attack. So if we could probably solidify our batting lineup a little more and not really tinker with it so much and not really play the likes of, if Uthappa is playing, not really play him in a position where he shouldn't be playing. I think we should probably focus a little more on the batting, because I think the better batting side will win tomorrow. That's what I genuinely feel.
And Vinay, I know you're very keen on. You've been very critical on the spin options. Have you seen any improvement in the spinning department in the last few games?
Yeah, look, if you look at the spinners, you've got Gopal and Tewati. I think Tewati's been playing really well. It's just, I just feel that the spinners. The only reason why I'm critical is if you look at the other sides, they're getting their lengths, they're getting the variation, they're making batsmen play. We just tend to leak the runs a bit in the middle part of the games. That's the, I'm not hugely critical of what they're doing, but it's more, we've got to contain the sides at that point. And if we're not doing that, we're making the run chase a bit more difficult, you see. Or, we're not able to then go on to finish the match off, like take the wickets. And if you look at how many wickets we've taken, we haven't really been taking a lot of wickets in the matches. If you think about, other sides have been able to bowl sides out. And so you've got to have spin as a good tool to complement the seam bowling with Archer and all the others, etc. So, look, as long as we've got Shane Warne there, hopefully he's been mentoring the guys as well. So, as long as they're getting their lengths and just making the batsmen play, then I think we'll be in with the chance, because Delhi have got very good batsmen, as we know.
Yeah. And on that point, who's the big threats tomorrow for our bowling attack?
For our bowling attack, well, I think Rishabh Pant will come back. Marcus Stoinis, expect him to go hard, and Shimron Hetman might get to come back again. I think Ricky Ponting is now keen to make changes just to test the quality of his reserves, and I'm really worried if Rahane does what Watson did to us in 2018, like hit a century against his former team. He might just play, you never know. So I think these guys will be critical, yeah.
And for us, who do you think, Shiv, who's going to be our key player tomorrow, you reckon?
I did mention earlier that the better batting side will actually come out victorious tomorrow. But I think although someone like Sanju Samson not really had a good run after the first two games, I think the pressure will invariably go back to him to actually step up and perform, because that's the kind of difference Rajasthan has. Just one player can make a difference for Rajasthan in their batting lineup. So the likes of Sanju stepping in and being among runs tomorrow will definitely make a difference for Rajasthan and probably change the fortune, change it for the better for us tomorrow when we're playing. So my focus will be on Sanju to kind of lead the batting attack and do what he has done in the previous seasons.
And he's playing against his ex-team as well, so that will be interesting. Yeah. And Vinay, on a coach. Okay, Upman, yeah, you can go.
Yeah. Do you think Robin Uthappa will be getting another chance?
I think, again, I'm in a situation where I've always said we should try Manan Bora. But and unfortunately now, if we look at the history of what we've been doing, is if we have a winning team, we don't change it, which is good as well, because it gives those people giving confidence. But I remember Vinay exactly saying, when we had the same thing with Parag, just take him out for a couple of matches and see when he comes back. And I say, Vinay, do you still think Robin Uthappa should be opening tomorrow, or if in the middle order, or where should we play Robin Uthappa tomorrow?
It's a difficult one. He's a very experienced player. I was quite surprised that Stokes came out to open actually with Butler. To be honest, that was just that's just a complete random kind of situation. Look, it's a hard one. Like when you look at the other sides, they really have a good balance and they really know who their top batsmen are. But at this point, I could say that actually I don't know who's going to open tomorrow. I know Butler is, but who's he going to open with? They could just choose anyone: Smith, Samson, Uthappa, Stokes.
Parag.
Parag.
Yeah. And it's crazy, isn't it? When you think about all of the other sides, you can definitely say who's opening for them.
Yeah, and again, if you look at our fan channel, they want either Archer or Tuati to open. So
because you want the players that are scoring the runs and hitting the sixes, and for power play, it's about maximising that situation. And it's a funny situation to be in. We're halfway through the tournament and we don't know who our opening pair will be. I feel. But,
and obviously with the opening situation where it is, obviously they are very strong with their front three power play bowlers. So we know Rabada will bowl probably 1 or 2 overs. Norte would bowl 2 overs. And the third over, I guarantee you Ashwin will bowl the third over in the power play. So opening combination is key tomorrow, you reckon?
Absolutely. I think just going back to what you spoke about, someone like a Manan Vora having a go at some point in this tournament. I'm not sure if tomorrow is the right time for him to actually come out, especially because you're facing a side like Delhi. I'd be more than happy if Rajasthan stick to the same side they played in their previous game, except actually present a better batting order. So if they could actually send out someone like Uthappa alongside Butler to open. Uthappa again comes with his own set of experience. He's played for a while. He's not been among runs this season, but he's played for a while. And if he's actually going to be put back to the position he's best known to bat at, I think it'll be something worth looking out for. So I'd love to see Uthappa and Butler come out to bat, irrespective of whether we're batting first or being put out to bat second tomorrow.
And Upian, on the death bowling. Our death bowling conceded 40 runs in the last 2 overs. Would you stick to Jaydev and Atkat bowling the last over, or would you make a change there?
Personally, I think Jaydev Unadkar is better suited in the middle overs. I think he's somebody whom you would want to finish off as soon as possible. But then there's not much options that we have. Kartik Tyagi, he's still young. You never know what a Rishabh Pant can do to him at the end, and it might just break his confidence, like what happened with Kuldeep when Moeen Ali bashed him off in Kolkata last year. So again, you just need to keep off Jofra's 2 overs at the end. Probably hope Kartik Tyagi at 16 or something, and maybe use Ben Stokes. Although I'm not a fan of his death bowling, but yeah, there's not much options that we have.
And Vinay, Ben Stokes, do you reckon he's going to bowl more than the 1 over tomorrow, or do you think they'll just keep him for the 1 over, see how it goes, and then plan accordingly?
Yeah, I think maybe he got given the over in the last match because it's his first game. He's been out of cricket for a little while. But give him a few overs. He's okay as a death bowler. He's not too bad. But, I think the key thing, again, is in the match is let's not give 40, 50 runs away in the last 2 or 3 overs, And, it depends on the condition of the pitch and who's going to bat first, etc. But yeah, look, I still think he's a good kind of bowler to have at your disposal when you're looking at options, in the back end of the matches.
Perfect. So we're now.
Go on. Yeah. Are you expecting Delhi to field what they've fielded, the kind of side that fielded against us? Are you expecting them to play the same 11? I mean, they've got to rest their bowlers at some point, right?
Possibly, and I think, I think they want to win tomorrow because they lost the last game. And again, I think losing Ishant and losing Mishra is going to be a big blow for them because obviously what's happening there is they're losing 2 of their most experienced bowlers, and that's what I say from my point of view. I really think that. But
they have Mohit Sharma, they have Harshal Patel. Harshal Patel is coming good for them.
Yeah, but
losing Ishant won't be that much of a problem, right?
Yeah, but I think Ishant gives them that extra experience. And again, bowling him out before the power play, the end, after that power play, before the end, I think he could be very useful. And I think Harshal is the type of player that, we really have to attack because I'm saying we're not going to score the runs from the other 2 bowlers, the other 3 bowlers. It's Harshal or Patel, the other Patel, the spinner Patel. So Akshar Patel, because obviously his economy rate is so good. We've got to try to say where we can score the runs for because their top 3 bowlers are just super quality. Yeah. So we're going to the halfway stage of the tournament. So Shiv, Other than Rajasthan Royals, which teams really impressed you the most?
I think I'll have to stick to my second most favorite team in the IPL. Fortunately, they've come good this time. So I've always gone for Bangalore after Rajasthan, and some people have associated it with 2020 being 2020, the year it is. But I think RCB has done quite well, and I've been quite impressed and very happy to see what they're doing, especially the likes of Devdutt Padikkal, who I've been keeping eyes on for a very long time now. The way he's come through and the way he's consistently delivered for the side has been very nice to watch. So I've got my money on RCB.
And Vinay, any surprise package for you, either in victory or defeat in this IPL?
I think I've been surprised how CSK haven't been. Usually they're very kind of they're competing in the top four all the way through. I've been quite surprised that they're still finding their feet as well. So I think as a surprise to the IPL, I think firstly there's been great matches, but for me, I think CSK has been a bit of a surprise. Like they still haven't quite worked out their kind of lineup, etc. But partly because of Reina and a few others not being available. But that's been a bit of a surprise because I thought there'll be quite good contenders, at this stage.
And the same question to you, Priyan. Has anybody really surprised you?
Punjab, because the way they're losing matches which they could have won. I mean, I'm really thankful they lost to us, but the fact is that KKR match you just can't lose like that. I mean, it's easy equation for you. You have the greatest of strikers on the stage. You have Pooran, you have someone like KL Rahul. How can you lose from there? KL Rahul really needs to think about his strike rate now. And regarding his bowling choices, I don't know why Mujib was brought in so late, but now that he's been brought in late, I can see why, because he's conceding almost at over 8, something you don't really expect from him. Bishnoi has been a revelation, of course. I really hope they back Ishan Podel. He's from Bengal and I've seen him perform well. He's got real pace. That's something. Arshdeep Singh, yet again, another talented youngster. So I don't really understand what's going wrong with them.
Yeah, and that's, I'll say with the Punjab, it's like, I tipped them to finish top 4 because the squad that they've got, is pretty perfect. And then also the management team, because I say, when I look at the IPL teams, I look who's coaching behind the scenes. John T. Rhodes. They've even got Anil Kumble. They've got Wasim Jafar. He's the ex-England other managers. He's also part of the training squad. So they've got such a brilliant management backup staff, but they just seem to. And I'm thinking, is it a captaincy issue? Is it a captaincy issue that they've got? What do you think, Oppian?
I think it's inexperience from KL Rahul. At the same time, they're not. They haven't still understood, like us. In fact, they haven't still understood the best combination for them. Unfortunately, like we know what the best 4 players are for us, but they still have best 4 foreign players are for us, but they still haven't figured it out. I mean, Shami and Cottrell. Why do you want to separate a pair like that? Sure, Cottrell went for 30, good for us, but you don't really want to separate a partnership between Shami and Cottrell, right? And Arshdeep has come good. So why do you want to tinker around there? They've found their 5th bowler, but again, when you have replaced Cottrell with Jordan or Nisham, it doesn't really make sense with your bowling.
And Shiv, with RCB, what do you think's changed with RCB? And I know Chris Morris is a big plus for them, but what else do you think?
I think, they've always, even though they've really not ended up, they've not really won, they haven't won title so far. I think they've always had a couple of key players they've centered their game around every season. And I think this time the only remarkable difference I can see is they're actually coming together as a unit and they're not really relying on just a bunch of players. So it's not just a case of somebody like, ABD coming in and whacking a few and getting them past a certain target, or someone like Kohli finding his form and doing his thing, or Navdeep Saini doing something, or Chahal doing something with the ball. So I think the fact that they've all come together as a team and come to perform together as a unit has really stood out for me this season. It's something I didn't really see happening in the previous seasons. So that's really worked out well for them. And I think credit where credit is due. I think Kohli's sort of done well in sort of taking the right calls and getting the team together and not really creating a core team of players on which the entire team could count on to get through each game.
And Vinay, with CSK, did they over rely on having Budgie and Suresh Raina in their team? You reckon?
I think you always rely on those experienced Indian players, and look, it's clearly evident that they're missing them. But yeah, you can't replace kind of players like that who've got so much talent and so much experience in those sides, and then a lot gets questioned on MS Dhoni and his tactics. But you look, they're still, he's doing what he can from from his post-match reviews. You can tell that they're still trying to find their way. But they'll.
Sorry. Upian, you had a question?
No, I was going to.
No, let Vinay continue.
Okay, Vinay.
No, I was just going to quickly say that they'll find their way probably a bit too late in this tournament, but they'll learn from having missed out on those kind of players to really strengthen their squad. But I still think they'll win the few matches that they've got left.
And from our point of view, is which are the key matches? Shiv, which are the key matches for us to qualify? Do you think that we've really got to win? And how are we going to do that?
I mean, at this stage where we are right now, I don't think we can really nitpick key matches. But I think one which would really stand out would be our game against Delhi tomorrow. We already lost against them once this season. So I think it would be good to get past them with a win tomorrow and learn from our mistakes from our previous game. So I think I wouldn't really worry too much about playing the likes of Chennai or Hyderabad again, but some teams like Delhi and even the likes of Kolkata who can pull off something out of nowhere, games like that where I think those are the kind of games where we need to really put in the kind of effort we should be putting in. So I'd be looking out for a game. I'd be definitely looking out for how we do tomorrow and how we'll end up doing against KKR when we have to play them again.
And Vinay, who do you think are probably more secure to finish in the top 3 places? And is the 4th place our biggest goal, you reckon, this season?
Yeah, I think for me it'd be Delhi Capitals, Mumbai Indians, and RCB. 4th place, obviously we'll hit that spot, so that's okay. But we'd be battling against with KKR on that. I don't think CSK or Kings 11 will do enough to. They'll maybe win a few matches, but they're low down in the table anyway. So so I think my top 3 would be Delhi Capitals, Mumbai Indians, and RCB.
So moving on to the game today, it's CSK versus, is it Sunrisers?
Yeah.
CSK and Sunrisers, yeah.
That's a big game. Is that one that we will be all supporting CSK today, or do you reckon? What's your thoughts?
If I was MS Dhoni, I would actually replace Watson with Santner, and I'd actually tell Santner to go right there at the top and smash it, because I know that guy can smash it, and he's a quality spinner. CSK likes their spinners. CSK has always done well with their spinners. I don't know why they're not using. They've got so many of them, right? So I don't know why they're not using Hazelwood and Santner. They should. Probably adjust the batting order yet again. If it slows down in the middle, okay, but at least send the right people when it's required. Bowling wise, I think the Deepak Chahar has been just as consistent as he's always been. Shardul Thakur, I think he can bat really well. He can finish off. He's finished a match for us against the West Indies once. So I think he can be used as a finisher. Dhoni really needs to think twice about the roles of his players now. Dwayne Bravo or somebody like Watson, they won't really offer you as much as they did a couple of years back. So that's my primary area of concern. As far as SRH is concerned, the middle order is still fragile. Manish Pande's strike rate isn't really like it was good against us, but I think he can do better than that. Kane Williamson needs to play more balls. So yeah, and regarding bowling, they'll do well.
Okay. And Shiv, when we look at tomorrow's game, I say win the toss, bat or ball?
I'd always, at this stage, I'd always prefer that we chase. So I'd love to either win the toss and bowl first. I'm sorry, I win the toss and actually choose to chase. So I'd definitely like to see us chase rather than defend a total.
And Vinay, what would you probably settle for tomorrow?
In terms of the toss, if we win it.
The toss, yeah.
Yeah, look, I think we just need to go out and bat first, get those batters, get them performing in the power play. Let's have a good power play. That's what we've struggled in the last 4 or 5 matches. So let's just get out there and get batting and set a very competitive total.
As I said, like tomorrow, it's a night game, whereas Sunday was a day game. So the dew factor might be an issue. And I said we saw yesterday the wicket actually did change for when KKR batted. So do you think that's a problem tomorrow, Ben?
Might be an issue. I think if we bat first, I would like to send Uthappa and Butler at front, because I just want Uthappa to play in as many balls as he can. I mean, he does that anyway, but like at least settle down, and then if he's good in the middle, then it'll be good for us only, right? I mean, he can really hit those fours. He can smash the spinners. I think Uthappa versus Akshar Patel, if we get a chance, it might be a very good battle to watch. Same against Ashwin, and I really hope Josh Butler has some vengeance against Ashwin now. I mean, that mankading and that catch against him, I think it's time for him to fire.
Oh, brilliant. And so realistically, without rules, loyalties aside, what do you reckon is going to happen tomorrow, Chef?
I think tomorrow is going to be a pretty close game. And even though I'm rooting for the Royals, I think we still have a very good chance tomorrow. But then again, I still firmly believe that if we're going to win, I think we'll have to chase tomorrow, irrespective of whether the dew factor comes into play. So I think it'll be a close game tomorrow, but I think we can still chase and hopefully not really have it boil down to the likes of Tewatia to get us past the finish line for a change. He's been doing a lot anyway for the side across almost every game we've played so far. So close game, but then we'd win if we chase, and we probably have someone else help us get past the finish line.
And Vinay, your game changer tomorrow. Who's going to be the game changer for us?
I think it'll be someone like Butler, due to hit some runs. Yeah, for me, he can destroy sides. You know, he just needs to have a very good knock, like how AB did yesterday.
Yep.
We need one of those from Butler.
And our bowler to watch out for tomorrow will be?
It's the one name we all know. It's Jofra. I think it's expected, like Jofra versus Rabada rivalry. I mean, it's a good thing to watch if you're a cricket lover in general. I hope Jofra comes on the top. I really hope. But let's see how it works. 70-30 Capitals, but heart always wants Royals.
Yeah, and that's where I'm thinking tomorrow. I think that confidence of winning, then also having to tinker with a team. I don't say Rishabh Pant might be fit or might not be fit. That's a big blow, and I think if we can see out the power play, see 5 overs of the power play without losing a wicket, I think that will give us the foundations to win tomorrow, and I think that's very important. It'll take the weight off Tewatia in the middle order. But I think if Stokes having 3 days more of nets, you know, we could potentially have our strongest team out tomorrow, and they've got to really, really play Uthappa at 1. If they don't play Uthappa at 1, I think we might struggle because I think we'll have with Smith playing his mental approach to batting at the moment. He's just trying to hit everything. We need Smith from overs 8 to 15. If he can stay in from 8 to 15 and tee off, then I think we'll get a score. Finally, what do you reckon a winning score will be tomorrow, Shiv?
I think anywhere between the likes of 160 to 180 would definitely, put us in the running for winning, however tight it might be. So I'm looking at anything between, probably wouldn't go as low as saying 160, but yeah, say anything between 170 to 180 would be what I'm looking at. Perfect.
And so we're in our last minute, and conclusion prediction tomorrow, Shiv? Who's going to win?
Like I said, I think we still have a chance if we, stick with the same team and chase tomorrow. I think I don't think too many things should go wrong for us if we do that.
And Vinay, Royals victory tomorrow?
Close game, and Royals win for sure.
And Anupian, 70-30 Delhi. Are you sticking to Delhi or on the? Who's going to
The
win?
predictor does show 70-30 in the Capitals' favor, but heart says Royal. So yeah, Allah bol.
Allah ball, Allah ball. Thank you guys for joining me again. Thank you for taking your time out. And definitely follow us on RR Super Rolls at the Instagram, and also the Fans Forum, Rajasthan Royals Fans Forum on Instagram, and also on the fan club, which is nearly 30,000 members. Catch you later, guys. See you.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Bye.
See you guys.